Hello, folks. This week we are going to take a look at the song My Girl. It's a fun tune and it translates nicely to the ukulele. So let's take a look at what we're working with here. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, my girl. It's a 4-chord or sort of 5-chord song. We've got F, B flat, G minor 7, C, and C7. So the strumming pattern that I like for this one is fairly straightforward. So it's kind of like down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. There's a lot that we can pull from the original recording if we wanted to play around with different rhythms, but we'll start off fairly simply and just keep it like that. That's what the verses are going to feel like. In the verses, we're just bouncing back and forth between that F and B flat. F, B flat. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. Now I'm kind of using that, it's close to that, what I've seen referred to as the island strum. The down, down, up, down, up. But what I'm doing is, instead of having a pair of eighth notes at the very end, I'm leaving it as a quarter note, and that's going to help give us a little bit of time to transition from that F to that B flat, which can be a tricky move if you're not as familiar with the B flat chord. One nice thing about that transition between the two chords, though, is I've got the F chord right here. My pointer finger is on the first fret of the E string, and what that means is I can just kind of maneuver my pointer finger to also cover the A string when I switch to that B flat chord. So I've got I've got my F here with the open A, and then I transition to the B flat like so. I drop my pointer finger down and I rearrange my middle and ring fingers like so. F, B flat, F, B flat. If the B flat is a new chord for you, I would spend a little bit of time just doing this. Not strumming, but just sitting with the chord, play the F chord, and switch to the B flat chord. F, B flat. Give yourself time to adjust. The B flat major 7 will actually work pretty nicely in this song as well. The melody pulls this A note a lot while you're playing the B flat chord. And when you combine all those notes, you get this B flat major 7. So I'm playing the 3rd fret of the G, 2nd fret of the C, 1st fret of the F, and I've got my open A string up top there. So that's a B flat major 7 chord. And if grabbing the whole B flat is a little tricky, the B flat major 7 a lot of times in this song is going to be an acceptable cheat. The other thing that happens a lot with the B flat chord is this note, the A string, the 1st fret of the A string, oftentimes gets muted. A lot of times these fingers will be okay, but it takes a while for our pointer finger to get up enough strength and figure out how exactly to maneuver, covering up both of those strings and playing them at the same time. That can be a little tricky. But if the F note doesn't come out, that's a B flat note. If that note doesn't come out, that's okay, because you're playing that same exact B flat note on the 3rd fret of the G string. We've got a double of this B flat. The 1st fret of the A and the 3rd fret of the G are the same exact note. So if one of those isn't ringing out properly, that's okay because you're covered by the other note. All right, when we get to the chorus, I like to do quarter note strums here. I guess you'll say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? I'm talking about my girl. The G minor 7 is actually a really interesting chord to work your way into the B flat chord because they're very, very similar. You probably noticed when I was playing G minor 7, there's only one change that I have to make to turn that G minor 7 into a B flat. I'm just putting my ring finger down on the 3rd fret of the G, and all of a sudden that G minor 7 is a B flat chord. So it's really nice in the chorus there when I'm going, I guess you'll say. The way that I'm doing those moves, kind of easing my way into that B flat. And just another note on while we're in the chorus there, I'm using my pinky finger a lot of times to play that C chord because my ring finger is tied up over here when I'm playing the B flat. My pinky is free. I can just tuck my pinky in there. Just be careful. A lot of times you might accidentally hit the 4th fret instead of the 3rd fret, and that can be a little ick. The other thing to remember, though, is that C6 chord will work really nicely. And on top of the C6, we could just play the C chord without the A string. So if I needed to work on getting my other fingers where I need them to go, I could just play these 3 strings, just the G, just the C, and the E, and not play the A string at all, and I have a C chord. I don't need this extra note. It's nice to have it. It brightens up the chord. It gives it a little bit more volume, but it doesn't have to be there. And then, of course, when we hit that C7, that's where I want to get that my girl, that little bit in there. So those 2 quick hits that just go right along with the melody. And right after I hit them, I want to mute. I want all my strings to stop ringing as I go into the next verse. That stop is a really funky move that happens, and it's nice to maintain that. My girl, I've got so much honey, the bees envy me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the tree. Well, I guess you'll say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, I don't need no money, fortune, or fame. So going into the 3rd verse, it's the same as all the other ones. The patterns are the same. The melody just kind of dances around a little bit differently over the top. My girl, I don't need no money, fortune, or fame. I've got all the riches, baby, one man can claim. Well, I guess you'll say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. So that outro part, we're still working with the same chords, but we've arranged them a little bit differently as we're doing our little fade out section. So we've got 2 measures of F, 1 measure of G7, and 1 measure of C7. And then we'll repeat that again. So it'll go like this. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day with my And then in this particular arrangement that I'm pulling out of the Daily Ukulele to go, we do that F for 2 measures, a measure of G minor, and a measure of C7. We play that phrase 2 times, and then the very final group of 4 measures is F, G minor 7, C7, and F. So it kind of does that to close things off. But I mean, we could just do a fade out on the F for 2 measures, G minor 7 for 1 measure, and C7 for 1 measure. And that's kind of the way that I'm inclined to do it. And then whenever I'm ready to end, I'll just stop on an F chord and call it a day. All right, so there you have My Girl. Definitely spend some time with B flat if that's a new chord for you, as well as G minor 7. Let's play the song together. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, I've got so much honey, the bees envy me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the tree. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, I don't need no money, fortune or fame. I've got all the riches, baby, one man can claim. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Talking about my girl, I've got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. I've even got the month of May with my girl. Talking about my girl. Thank you all so much, folks. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. If you have any suggestions, or you're just excited about something that you're learning how to play, I would love to hear about it. You can email me at tinyvillagemusic@gmail.com, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care.